Good morning, guys. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We had an amazing week last week, some banger trades. So let's get straight back into it and run the playbook back. So what did we see here? We saw a sell-off over the weekend, which I've been checking out this morning. And boom, look where we bounced from. We put our red line here at 91,700. Again, you can go back and look at the other videos to make sure that I'm not moving these lines from day in and day out, because these are our liquidity zones and these are where we will bounce from for support or where we'll look to bounce off and use as resistance, okay? And we've come back down in the sell-off, bounce straight off this our liquidity zone here, our buy-side imbalance, and almost exactly off our low volume node at 91,700. And now we're looking to trade back up. We have created some new zones here, as you'll be able to tell from the chart. Now we've got a daily sell-side imbalance here and a buy-side imbalance crossing over. So we'll jump into those now and explain. First of all, the two lines that have changed are the two right above our red line here, which is 92,900 and 93,650 here. There are new low volume nodes in the crossover between these areas. So again, I expect these to be used as resistance, or expect them to be traded back into to grab liquidity to then continue to the upside. So what does that mean? To keep it stupid simple, we either look to take profit on longs here or potentially look for shorts depending on how the order flow is moving. Speaking of the order flow, here we go. We're straight into XO charts, and obviously we're on the start of a new week, so we're looking kind of fresh here, and this is where we're trading. So what I'm really looking for in the very short term here is support off this daily value area high, which is around 92,900. Again, what does that cross over with? Our new low volume node. And then support, let's say our next level where we, the first level of support is the daily value area high. If not, we really need to see this weekly VWAP or the daily VWAP, because again, it's Monday, it's a brand new week, so the weekly VWAP and the daily VWAP are the same thing. This is at 92,700. And again, what does that cross over with? The other new low volume node within our imbalances. So if we do want to remain bullish, we want to see something like this. Again, we can just continue to the upside, but we want to retest this here, hold. If not, come back and hold this and look to do something like this until the New York Open, where we typically see some manipulation, which we'll come to cover very shortly. But in the short term, simple is this. Hold this. If not, come down, test here. And if we break, we're almost certainly going to come and test the daily point of control, then daily value area low, then our daily low, which again, we probably end up creating a new low. And the big thing we want to keep an eye on if we do have a giga nuke going into the week is this 89,500, which is our monthly value area low, where we could again look to sweep before we continue to the upside. But if we do want to remain bullish, this is our scenario here. At the very lowest, kind of trade into this daily value area low, or even trade into the daily low, but hold it. We want to see massive support there, okay? And if we don't, the likelihood of us trading back into this monthly value area low here at 89,500, is quite likely, in my opinion. But as we were speaking about the daily value, New York manipulation, what would be really good would be something like this. I could see, let's say we're going to continue to the upside today. We could see, big manipulation from the open, something like this, doom, 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 doom. We bounce off the daily value very low or the low, and then we see massive orders to the upside and we continue on and all is good. Or likewise, we start pumping, we get bullish, everyone goes, great, we're starting the new week on the upside, this is amazing, boom, 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 we break through, we either test the daily high or break through, go to the monthly value very high, and then we come down and it just starts the cascade going into the rest of the week, looking to eventually come down. And of course, again, like I say, test our daily low first, and if that fails, then look to sweep that monthly value area low. They're the two scenarios that I see playing out today. So again, we don't mind where the market goes. Of course, in the general theme of things, we want to remain bullish, so we'd like to see things go to the upside, because no doubt we all have some BS spot bags of altcoins that we're trying to hold on to that we're hoping will moon, and Bitcoin nuking will not help that in any way, shape or form. But at the end of the day, we're going to make money either way, so we either sweep to the lower side and come up, or we fake out and then break down. But either way, the playbook, the levels, which I'll come back to again on TradingView, so you can get a quick look of the refreshed ones for this week. And yeah, just keep it simple. You've seen how this has played out every day last week. We're 5 for 5 already on the channel. Again, all the receipts are on here, so if you don't believe me, you can go check the Telegram if you're not part of the free Telegram, first line in the description. You can see the stuff I'm posting on Twitter, again, that's also in the description. And you can check the videos. Another interesting thing to look at is, from the start of the day, we've seen the open interest go up and us start to creep up slowly. So people are looking to enter sort of long positions, but we are staying kind of flat. So it is going to be interesting. A couple of things I noticed here, again, we're on the 3-minute chart, right, is all of these push downs here. So if I can highlight this, like these areas here where we saw spikes in negative delta, which again, was either people selling off or it's people market selling, right? So they're either closing positions, which again, you can see on the open interest here, this is people closing longs, people closing longs, people closing longs. People are getting in and out here, but all this heavy selling is not pushing the price down too hard. You know, especially look here, we had all this heavy selling and we kind of get supported. So expecting a little bit more sideways again, especially until the New York Open, which is, you know, shortly in 1 hour and a half from the time I'm making this video. It'll be a little bit later once I upload the video, but that's the thesis going into the day. That's what we're playing off, and we just see how the New York Open plays out, and that will set the tone for the week. Another thing I want to look at is the PEPE trade. So we caught a nice PEPE trade on Friday. We went through the video. So we talked about the 600% opportunity, and that's going to get 60% move to the upside on 10x leverage. This was our move here. We're on the daily chart, so we're only going to be looking at Friday. This was our little play here on Friday, in between these two red zones. We actually closed it perfectly. If you'll see the message in the Telegram, I said, look, I'm going to take a break from the charts. I think it can go higher, but Bitcoin looks like it wants to take a breather here, so I'm just going to take my profit and go and chill out and enjoy the weekend. And it ended up doing a 4% move, which was 40% on 10x leverage, and we actually closed at 33% profit. So we did catch pretty much the entire part of the move. So well done if you followed that, well done if you took the profit. I still think the PEPE trade is on, this, you know, huge trade to the upside here. And the retest, again, it just trades in line with Bitcoin, so we need to, you know, catch Bitcoin pumps. This is again why we're not holding these altcoins right now. We're not trying to hold. We're looking for opportunities where Bitcoin looks strong and memes and altcoins that look strong that can follow suit, and we can find a nice trade in and out and take our profits. Of course, we need to see how this week plays out, but let's say, you know, we did a retest and then we look to continue to the upside. A really great opportunity, I think, here would be around 4,670 here for PEPE, fill in this low volume node and then start taking it to the upside. Of course, you could take your profit here, 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 at these highs. Again, we see how the market goes. You know, if it's starting rip up only for Bitcoin and we're going 120, 150K, you want to hold on to these trades because this is your cycle play. But again, entries here, you're going to get a great trade, you know, 40, 50, 60, 100, 120%, things like this on 10x leverage. So yeah, we're just looking for these high value opportunities, get in and out, take our profit and farm Bitcoin as the main thing and find the right altcoin plays. And that's how we keep making money every day, guys, regardless of the market. And last thing, I'm going to start looking at some memes. I've been getting back into the trenches recently. So in these daily updates, I'm going to do some coins that I think are quite interesting. Still getting back into this, so just keeping up to date with the meta. But one thing I thought was quite interesting is this Leon AI. So it's related to the project by the ByteDance CEO, you know, those guys, TikTok is part of that company, etc. It's been endorsed and tweeted about by the Nansen CEO. He even bought some. He mentioned this on Twitter. It's essentially a privacy-focused, like server-hosted personal assistant. So the fees go back to support the project. With memes, at the end of the day, attention is everything. So we should see a comeback with this token. I'd expect, you know, on another pump, at least a 3 million minimum all-time high. You know, creating a new all-time high, sorry. Again, its attention is everything, so timing is right. But I think now we've seen Marcel pump and dump it and kind of move on to other things. So as is with all these influencers, when they start shilling something, if the project actually seems good, the simple thing to do is like, oh my God, I need to get in now. I need to FOMO because this is going to be the pump. And don't get me wrong, it's going to pump, but when you're hearing about it, it's probably already over, you know. But if it's something like a project, like a Wojak or like something like this, or you know, something where you know, the one coin can change your life thing. Like we caught a banger trade on that. Shout out Supergroup, you guys will know this. The play with these things is don't jump in then. It's already 9 times out of 10, it's already overheated at that point because everybody's in and they're trying to use you as exit liquidity, right? But these coins come back around. So waiting for when they die out and when they hold a floor and when you can see that there's still some interest in, these are the times that you want to be buying, you know? And again, we have to wait and see if this coin is going to go up, right? Again, I'm not affiliated by it. I'm not, you know, I've got a few Solana in it, nothing crazy. But I think this one can be quite good because this is at that point now where it's holding this 400K. You know, we've seen that it's top 2 million. The second this type of thing gets a little bit of, you know, a little bit of attention back and, you know, Nansen CEO starts tweeting about it, the KOLs start hyping about it, this is the time when you can be in before them, okay? And you can ride this even back to all-time high, you know, even back to all-time high is what? 400% move? It's great, especially these days in the trenches, that's amazing, okay? Especially if you can do it with, you know, I wouldn't go big size on this, but whatever your size might be, you can even go medium size on this, because is it going to start just nuking to zero? Like, probably not. Looking at the way that it's held, looking at the people that are shilling it, but the upside's huge, right? And that's ultimately what we're trying to look for in this game, is minimal potential downside with maximum upside. And I think this is a great project where we might be able to get it. And that's everything for today, guys. I've just brought the Bitcoin chart up here so you can see the levels again of what we'll be looking at. Make a note of that, write it down, pause the video. And speaking of the video, if you enjoy it and if you've been printing last week, if you're just getting into it, if this is the first video you've seen and you want to see me do more, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a nice comment, something like this. Make sure you join the free Telegram, like I said, first link in the description. You can follow me on Twitter as well. That link is there at NigelBTC, where I'll yap about things and say stuff. But yeah, other than that, good luck. Have fun, and I'll see you in the books.